I have two older brothers, but this story is about the middle one, Sam. Our childhood was shaped by our mother's unrelenting jealousy. My parents divorced when I was very young, and at first my dad managed to tolerate her behavior. But when she started making disturbing comments about me wanting to replace his wife, he had enough. She quickly moved on, marrying a man with 2 kids and shared custody of us for a while. But things truly spiraled when my dad remarried. My mother went into a fury, branding his new wife with every insult imaginable and accusing him of cheating throughout their marriage. I was always closer to my dad and brothers than to my mom. She was cruel to me, always finding new ways to hurt. The worst came when my stepmom died in a horrific car accident. My father, shattered, called my mother in the middle of the night to let her know he'd be picking us up early for the funeral. Her response? She took us on a fun trip instead, to celebrate. She was the happiest we'd ever seen her. When we realized why and started crying, she sneered and told us, "Only worthless people cry for floozies." That was the final straw. My dad fought for full custody and won, though he kept the door open for us to contact her. He even paid for us to visit when she moved away. But the damage was done. As soon as we turned 18, my brothers and I distanced ourselves from her completely. The last time we saw her was at my high school graduation, where she made a scene, ranting about how ungrateful we were while her husband called us names. After that, we cut ties for good. Sam started dating his ex 3 years ago. She knew everything, the trauma, the estrangement, the betrayal. Yet she dismissed it all, saying we were being dramatic. Their relationship struggled because of her relentless attempts to pressure him into reconnecting with our mother. Eventually, she seemed to drop the issue, and for a while things were peaceful. Then came the wedding day. Everything seemed normal, no signs of anything unusual. But when we arrived at the church, my blood ran cold. Sitting in the front row as if they belonged there were our mother, her husband, and their children. My heart pounded as I frantically called my brothers. Sam, confused, assumed she had somehow found out and crashed the wedding. He called his fiancée, hoping she would help manage the situation. Instead, her response left him in stunned silence. "Oh, I invited them. It's fine." The betrayal was swift and brutal. Without a word, Sam hung up and looked at me. "Get me out of here," he said. While our older brother stayed behind to handle the chaos, I drove Sam home. We locked the doors, refusing to face the circus that followed. His ex, her family, their friends, they all showed up, pounding on the doors, demanding he face them. Even our mother's husband called, his voice dripping with malice. "I always knew you were worthless." In the aftermath, lines were drawn. Sam's friends and most of our family stood by him. His ex's parents, furious, threatened legal action to get back the money they had spent on the wedding. Sam didn't care. He said he'd rather pay them back than spend a lifetime with someone who betrayed him. But now, as the dust settles, I wonder, did we do the right thing? Yes, his ex was cruel. Life has a way of testing us, and for my family, that test came in the form of our mother's cruelty. Despite the trauma she inflicted, my brothers and I grew up to be happy, well-adjusted people, thanks to our incredible father. But just when we thought we had left our past behind, my brother Sam's wedding brought back the ghosts we had tried so hard to escape. The aftermath. We were all still in shock over what happened at the wedding. Our dad reassured us that we could stay home as long as we needed, and Sam decided to move back home for the time being. When I showed my family the overwhelming support from everyone online, they were genuinely touched. Sam wanted people to know that his ex-fiancée had never displayed any alarming behavior before. He truly believed she understood his past. But after what she did, he agreed to talk to her, on one condition: the meeting would happen at our home with us by his side. And so, we prepared for what would be one of the most surreal conversations of our lives. The confrontation. Before the meeting, we found out why Sam even agreed to see her. She had sent videos of his belongings scattered on the floor to his best friend, Tom, threatening to destroy everything unless Sam spoke to her. That crossed the line. Tom, my other brother Joe, some cousins, and my boyfriend went to Sam's apartment and grabbed all his important things. The meeting itself? A complete disaster. His ex showed up with her family, and the moment she realized she wouldn't get Sam alone, she started rambling, without ever apologizing. She tried to justify her actions, claiming that Sam needed to learn the value of family, and that we were raised to hate mothers. Then she made the biggest mistake of all. She turned to my dad and said, "This family is like a cult, and you are a terrible father." That was it. Sam exploded. He told her she was a liar, that he was disgusted he ever loved her, and that he was thankful I had arrived early and stopped the wedding. He called out all the little things he had ignored because he truly believed in their relationship. He said he could never forgive her for the pain she caused his siblings. And the best part? He told her that he didn't even hate her, because hate would require energy and she wasn't worth that anymore. Her family sat there in stunned silence, bright red with embarrassment. She cried. Her sisters tried to defend her. But we refused to argue back. We didn't need to. Sam ended things for good, made it clear that he would tell everyone the truth, and left them with a final warning. If they tried to sue him for wedding costs, he would expose every bit of their dirty laundry to the world. That shut them up quickly. The final blow. After all that, we thought we were done. But no, our mother had to make one final appearance. When the wedding booze delivery arrived, she and her husband sneaked through the gate, claiming they just wanted to talk to their babies. Dad told her to leave. She refused. She screamed that we had embarrassed her and that we needed to start making amends because we lacked maternal love. Joe, usually the most reserved of us, finally had enough. He stepped outside and told her coldly, "The only news I ever want to hear about you is when you're dead, so I can celebrate." She lost it, screaming, crying, wailing. Her husband threatened to hit Joe, but we ignored them and shut the gate. They eventually left, humiliated and defeated. Moving forward, many people struggle to understand why we react the way we do. But the stories I've shared? They barely scratch the surface of what we endured. We don't feel guilty for cutting our mother out. We don't feel guilty for standing by Sam. We love each other fiercely and our father raised us to be strong. Right now we're focusing on healing. We're doing family therapy, watching horror movies with a few Disney classics sprinkled in, and even making a drama bingo game out of everything that's happened. Because if there's one thing we've learned, it's that laughter is sometimes the best medicine. And to those who supported us, thank you. Truly. My brothers and I are reading your messages and we appreciate every kind word. For those who have experienced similar pain, know that it gets better. You deserve peace, love, and a family, whether it's the one you were born into or the one you create. Does this story resonate with you? If this story hit home, let us know in the comments. Have you ever had to cut out a toxic family member? Have you ever had to stand up for a loved one in an impossible situation? We'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you found this story compelling, please like, share, and subscribe. Your support means the world to us and it helps us continue sharing stories that matter. Thank you for being part of our journey.